Outdoor Adventure, Hot and Relevant Topics, Water-Based Activities by Finn Wagner. For this hot and relevant topics, assignment number 1, I chose water-based programs. Reasons being that I grew up around rivers and lakes. I've spent hours whitewater rafting and hiking through the North Georgia mountains, and I've hiked through rivers and dealt with the water my entire life. When I was a freshman year in high school, I spent an extended period of time camping in the Cohutta Wilderness in North Georgia, and it had just rained, and we were doing river crossings, and we were jumping off, doing cliff jumping and such, and we didn't know the proper safety. I got my leg stuck in a rock, and I had to be pulled out. I didn't drown or anything like that, but to me, the injuries and the trauma that I sustained from that made it important enough for me to choose to do my assignment on water-based programs. So when it comes to outdoor education of water events, that outdoor education includes the following. It includes working to understand safety and survival skills around the water. It includes learning how to properly work and use a life vest. It includes certain CPR and other life-saving techniques in case somebody were to drown or get significantly injured in or around the water. How to operate around the water even when there are no authorities there, how to be responsible. And it also includes learning how to be safe and act smartly even when there are guides present, and dealing with random situations and learning how to properly act, treat, and respect the water. My dad always told me when I was growing up, he was like, the water's out to get you. The water's a dangerous place, and that has resonated with me my entire life and helped keep me relatively safe in or around the water. So the average cost for the consumer when it comes to outdoor adventures surrounding the water, it was very difficult to find a standard set or average cost due to different states having different costs, different living expenses, etc. But according to multiple sources between Texas, Georgia, and South Carolina, I was able to find that most outdoor excursions and adventures cost around $600 for a learning course and an expedition. It's a little bit cheaper if you just do a course or just do an expedition or an adventure, but both combined for one trip usually cost around $600 a person. Like I said, there are some that are cheaper and some that are more expensive depending on the area that you are living or looking at taking these courses or doing these adventures at. All activities surrounding the water are a little bit more expensive due to the fact that water access is a little limited compared to land-based activities and being able to do those in a lot more common areas than the water. So, the expected results for an outdoor adventure. The expected results and dangers for the participants would be, including to the positives, clearly learning and behaving correctly around the water because the water is a dangerous place, learning how to stop somebody from drowning and learn life-saving techniques such as CPR from the adventure leader or from a class that you take. Another benefit is just being on the water. Who doesn't love that and the therapy that in itself brings? Some potential negatives, dangerous and other scary situations around the water. For example, somebody drowning, somebody falling, somebody getting hurt. Another negative would just be the risk of drowning or even death if not properly educated or properly treating the water the way it's supposed to be treated. Hypothermia, if one is not smart enough to learn and be curious about water temperatures and when you should not be in or around the water. And other injuries from submerged objects that cannot be seen from above the water. So, the agencies in charge of a lot of these water-based outdoor adventure activities, they vary. Most state wildlife departments and the DNR are in charge of water-based events. Another big major one that translated across states was the Environmental Protection Agency, but their Office of Water, the US EPA. And many others are listed. The agencies are heavily federally regulated across different fields and different recreational areas of study and outdoor activities. So these are some examples of places that can offer these sort of outdoor adventures. The first one being the Chattahoochee Whitewater Rafting in Georgia and Alabama. They offer instructional courses and daily excursions all throughout the year. Their services are whitewater rafting and other similar kayaking and boating down the Chattahoochee River, which runs between Georgia and Alabama. I personally have been with them multiple times, and every time it starts with around 30 minutes of education and how to act if a guide were to go overboard and how to handle the situation yourself if you're put in a situation where you're having to save people or save yourself, which to me is very, very beneficial. And it shows a lot about the company themselves wanting the consumer to know more about the water and the dangers and just the regular safety that may occur. Another one being the Texas Parks and Wildlife Services. They have an angler education program which teaches those of all ages to learn the safety and regulations surrounding fishing, boating, and other outdoor recreation, which is very important to an outdoorsman like myself and like many other people who love to enjoy the wilderness, when there's people who can sit there and unintentionally destroy or hurt or harm like these areas of recreation, especially surrounding the water. So this Texas Park and Wildlife Services, they train young to young adult, even into late adulthood, different people about the safety and how to respect the water and the different areas surrounding the water. According to the NIH, the National Library of Medicine, outdoor recreation can help with many individuals' ability to cope with mental health crises. I haven't necessarily been through any crazy mental health crises in my life, but I use the outdoors as an escape to get away from the crazies of daily life. My escape is to go on a drive and then just go sit out in my truck and listen to music by myself, and I can surely say that that has helped me in my time. That leads me to the next point. Outdoor adventures and excursions help all individuals find a way to escape the busyness of daily life in the suburbs or cities, regardless of workplace, etc. Being outside and one with the wilderness and being in the serenity of nature is a great way to remove yourself from the busyness of a schedule or stressful activities. There are many cognitive benefits as well that help people work better after excursions or adventures like these. So, when it comes to a specific outdoor adventure education, I chose to focus on river crossings due to the inherent danger that surrounds the topic. When it comes to river crossings, these can look like crossing rivers on small, thin, man-made bridges, or even natural logs that have fallen across a river, or no bridges at all. But it is crossing rivers down, putting yourself at that water level for an experience unlike any other. In these education courses, when learning about river crossings, you learn about balance, relying on your adventure leader, staying calm, and how to get yourself out of dangerous situations if you fall into the river, and ultimately how to keep yourself and all of those surrounding you safe. What is the scope of these programs? The scope of these programs is to teach individuals how to safely cross rivers and ensure their safety throughout the dangerous experience. Individuals learn how to safely determine how to cross a river, what steps to make if the water is moving quickly, and how to determine if the water is too deep or moving too quickly, and learning skills and items to carry along with you in order to keep calm and to be safe. So 2 of the main items that I found were instrumental during these sort of river crossings was bungee cords and some sort of stick or probe. The bungee cords are there on both sides of the river, and you run them in between you and your pack to ensure that if you fall, that'll help hold you up above water level to prevent you from being swept away by the current, or help keep you safe if you were to accidentally step off of one of these bridges. The probe is important if you're doing one of these river crossings, whether with or without a bridge. The probe is to help you determine how deep the water is, how safe your footing is, depending on how you probe it around in the rocks below, and to help hopefully find any kind of debris that you could get stuck on and then the river pushes you under. It's supposed to help prevent that and help you find all of these dangerous things to help keep you and everybody around you safe. So here is going to be a video of an outdoor adventure leader taking charge and saving a man's life. The video here was posted to National Geographic's Instagram around a week ago. It displays the courage and quickness that an outdoor adventure leader needs to display in order to be successful when things go wrong.
I thought I had lost my best friend.
Travis! Travis! Pull! Pull, buddy! Pull! Pull! Use it! Use all your strength! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on, buddy! Get on there! Get on there! What?
He was just frozen. And he's like, I'm stuck. What are you stuck on? There's nothing here. I started unstrapping everything that the bungee cords were connected to.
You're okay. The ropes around you. The ropes around you.
I thought I was going to go down. Life was basically flashing before my eyes, but the water was freezing cold. I went right into shock. I just said to him, I want to go back across right now. I want to go home.
You don't want to go across this right now in the state you're in.
So there we see the courage and the quickness and ability of an outdoor adventure leader, to save a man's life. Obviously, that's a very tough video to watch and everything, but I figured it was important to show the danger of the water itself and to show how important it is to be knowledged and to have learned the different ways to be able to keep yourself and others safe if you ever find yourself in a situation like this. So, for example, I've already touched on this a little bit in this video, but a micro skill that I have learned while researching this topic was balance and how to poke sticks or probes towards the bottom of a creek or river so that you can determine if it is safe to cross if you cannot see the bottom. I learned that when crossing a river that you always need to have 2 points of contact with the bottom to ensure that you don't fall or lose balance even on rocky surfaces. For example, that's going to be having your probe moving forward to find and figure out if your footing is stable, then anchoring yourself to this probe or stick, and then moving 1 foot forward, and then checking in front of the next foot with this stick or probe to determine if that foot has stable footing. Then, you still having the probe anchored in the ground, you move your right foot forward, and then you de-anchor the third point of contact, and then you repeat the same process until you finish crossing the river. This skill also helps ensure that you do not end up getting tangled in underwater debris, as you can use the stick to poke around and feel the bottom to ensure that you do not fall or hurt yourself while doing a river crossing. I also learned that when crossing a river, you should not do so if the water is moving faster than a speed walking pace, and if you cannot see the bottom, then you must check before every step with some sort of probe or stick to ensure that you do not be swept away, tangled up, or fall into a hole and get swept up under the river. Throughout this whole video, I've covered different ways and how to be safe and what you need to learn when you're doing activities in or around the water. And I hope that through this example, the video on the previous slide, and throughout the knowledge and expertise that it takes to be able to successfully do these, that everybody watching will learn how to stay safe, what steps need to be taken in order that you learn how to be safe during your next water adventure. And these are going to be my sources for the PowerPoint today.